Maybe it's that old Marvel fatigue that everybody's been talking about for years that I thought was complete shit that's kicking in, finally. For me, anyway. Maybe it's that this whole thing kind of just felt like a joke to me. It kind of felt like nobody was really taking it that seriously. Or maybe... my heart just wasn't in it. I just wasn't feeling it today, maybe. But the truth is, I gotta say, I did not love Thor Love and Thunder. Not really at all. Look, did I have fun with it? Sure, it's a Marvel film. It's at least a 3-star film, you know? It's good quality stuff in an objective kind of way. In a way where I'm like, yeah, I can see people having fun with this. But did I have that good a time? No. I just feel like, I don't know, I just felt like it felt kind of lazy to me, which I feel bad saying because I don't want to shit on anyone. I don't want to come on here and just say, this sucks, because can I do better objectively? No, I can't. I know I can't. So who am I to say this movie sucked? And I'm not saying it sucked, but it kind of sucked at the same time. Now, I have a confession to make. First up, this is kind of an important factor in my opinion on this that's gonna heavily affect what you think of my opinion on this film, and that is the fact that I am not a huge fan of Taika Waititi, the director of this film. He has a strong fan base. A lot of people really love the dude, and I'm not gonna come on here and say he's overrated and all those fucking buzzwords and whatever, but I am gonna say that his humor just doesn't work for me. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of his sense of humor. I think he's a good filmmaker. I think that the emotion he brings to his films can also be quite effective and well done as well, but I just think his humor is really one note. I feel like a lot of his humor is just accents are funny, specifically the New Zealand accent, and I'm just like, yeah, not really, not to me anyway. It's a similar problem that I had with the Mortal Kombat movie that came out last year, actually, with the Kano character who's Australian. It's like every time he opened his mouth, the audience is just roarous laughter, you know? Even here in Australia, where I'm sure people know that accent quite well, still, for some reason, it's the funniest fucking thing in the world to them. Same deal with his Korg character. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just the funniest thing anybody's fucking ever heard, no matter what he's saying. And it just irritates me. I don't know, but all in all though, as a director as well, I just don't really like his humor all that much, and I'm sorry. And in saying that, if you love his humor, you're gonna watch this video and you're gonna be like, fuck this dude. Who cares about the rest of his opinion? And fair enough, because this is all subjective, okay? I'm not coming on here preaching that this is completely objective and everything I say is the truth. I'm just coming on here to say my opinion. One of the issues that I had with this film was that it looks fake. And this is never a complaint that I've ever had about any of the MCU films before it. Unbelievably, I know, because a lot of people always complain about atrocious CGI and green screens and whatever. And I've always kind of kept blind to that. And I don't have the eye for it, maybe, or maybe I just don't care because I like the films. But I was at the cinemas with my parents a few weeks ago, okay, and we were seeing Jurassic World Dominion, which, hot take, I actually kind of liked. So fuck me, I'm just the opposite of everybody's opinions here at the moment. But before the film started, the trailer for Thor Love and Thunder came on, and my mum was like, wait, is this a movie? Once she realized that it was going on for like a minute or two. Because at first, she thought that it was just an ad, like an ad for, I don't know, perfume or car insurance or something. Whatever the hell it was, it doesn't really matter. She thought it looked like an ad, and from then on, my mind is stuck in that. I can't really unsee it anymore. Maybe my own mum ruined Marvel for me, I'm not sure. I don't want to blame her for that. But this film really just did feel like I didn't really buy into the environments. I didn't really buy into all of that stuff. Everything just looked really superficial to me. Maybe that's because this was shot in COVID or something. I'm not actually sure either way. It probably was with the timing, right? And so maybe there was a lot of behind the scenes struggles, you know, that I am not privy to. And that's definitely a possibility as well. And that's another reason that I don't like doing negative reviews. You never know what's going on behind the scenes, and you never know all of the different struggles that people have to deal with when it comes to making these films and everything, and I don't think anybody did a bad job. That being said, I thought some of the people in this film did a bad job. The acting in this film, to me, and acting is not something I ever comment on in my reviews, ever, because I don't feel like I can justify criticizing it, because I don't know anything about it. But the acting in this film, to me, I didn't buy it. It all felt really superficial to me. Chris Hemsworth, for one. Like, in this film, he's gone all out when it comes to just being like the frat boy kind of jock funny guy character. That's what it felt like here. It felt like Chris Hemsworth was trying too hard to be funny in this film. It didn't feel like comedy was coming naturally from the character of Thor as he, I don't know, misunderstood stuff or was too macho or was whatever, all of the different jokes that they've used this character with before. It wasn't really Thor being funny. It was Chris Hemsworth trying to be funny. That's how I read this film to be. And it was him and Taika Waititi collaborating and just letting loose and really never saying no to each other. It kind of felt like they were each other's yes men and they were doing a yes and improv act, and every single thing in the world that they said was the most funny thing ever to them. And to me, none of it really was. I mean, some of it was. Yes, this movie made me laugh at times, but I don't know. It kind of just felt like, especially on Chris Hemsworth's part, he didn't take it too seriously. He didn't take it as seriously as I would have liked. But then when there were drama scenes going on, I'm like, holy shit. There's Thor. Where have you been, buddy? Like, it kind of felt like he hadn't been in it prior to that. I don't know. There was too much winking and smiling and whatever at the camera, and it was just very noticeable. I couldn't really avoid it. And apart from that, there were also a bunch of other actors in here that I just felt like, I don't know, like Christian Bale was in this, right? And he was the villain guy, and he was hamming it the fuck up. Like, every time he spoke, he was really enunciating, like really opening his mouth and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just felt like theater. It didn't feel like I was actually looking at a character. It felt like Christian Bale hamming it up. You know what I mean? And that's just really how I felt about a lot of the characters in this film. It didn't feel like actual characters. It felt like people acting in front of me. Russell Crowe is in this film, as you probably know if you've seen some of the trailers and whatever. And even with that character, like, I just felt like he came in and he had like this broken English accent type of thing. And I'm like, why get Russell Crowe to come in and do that? It feels offensive, borderline offensive. Like, I'm not crying about it. I'm not crying about it on anyone's behalf, but it just feels like accents. Again, accents are the funniest thing in the world to Taika Waititi. I don't know. That's another thing that I want to talk about, just by the way. This is completely besides the point. Nothing to do with the film, but something that's been on my mind lately because everybody's been talking about Thor coming out soon. I hate when people try to pronounce Taika Waititi and they say Taika, and they don't know how to say his name, because just don't bring attention to it. I don't even know if I'm saying it 100% accurately. Taika Waititi, that's how I say it. That's how I think it's pronounced. But if it's not 100% accurate, doesn't matter. Don't bring attention to it. You don't have to do the Taika and pretend like you're trying to pronounce it properly. It just comes off as racist to me. I don't know. Am I looking too far into this? Yes, probably. This is how much I didn't feel that strongly about the film, I guess is what I'm getting at. I have things to complain about that have nothing to do with the film, because the film itself didn't give me that much to talk about. It didn't make me think all that much. It was just fine. It was It was alright. I liked the action scenes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not that big of an action scene type of guy. I liked spending time with these characters. I liked Jane as Thor, the almighty Thor in this film. I did like her in this film quite a lot. She was probably my favorite character. And, you know, it was fun to have that character back, especially after her, whatever you would call it, abrupt exit from the last film that she was in. The last film I think we saw her in was Thor: The Dark World, and we haven't seen her again since. And sure, it's because Thor's been in, you know, other planets and whatever the hell else has been going on, but she just like exited the MCU straight up, just instantly, and there was never really any reason. You know, they never explained any of that. This time they did. They kind of got into that and what happened, filled us in on the blank spaces and stuff that we didn't have context for, and that was kind of nice. But something that was kind of annoying as well was that there was a lot of backtracking and recapping of all the previous films, and I guess maybe that's what Marvel feels like they're going to need to do in each upcoming film from now on, because, you know, the further in you get to all of these things, that I think this was the 29th Marvel film, and the further in you get, the more you're going to have new audience members who don't know what the fuck is going on. Sure, okay, I can kind of sympathize with that. But, I don't know. It just felt like a lot of recapping to me. Maybe that's an empty complaint. Maybe that's not that heavy a flaw or whatever. But it's something. It's something that I thought of when I watched this film, okay? What else did I think of Thor Love and Thunder? I don't know, man. It was alright. It was alright. That's about all that I really have to say about it. You know, was it funny at times? Sure. Was it good? I guess. I don't know. Who am I to say? I know there are going to be people who fucking love this thing, okay? I know that there are people who love Thor Ragnarok. I know that there are, and I like it. I've never loved Thor Ragnarok as much as everybody else has. Again, I think that comes down to Taika Waititi's sense of humor. I just don't think he's that funny a guy. It's like in Jojo Rabbit. I really liked Jojo Rabbit, except for the Taika Waititi parts. Him as Hitler was just way too cartoony and annoying for me. And that's kind of what Thor Love and Thunder was. Everything was really in your face, and it was just a bit much. It was just a bit too much. And this is coming from a fairly big Marvel fan, you know? And again, maybe I just don't have the love for Thor that other people do, maybe, because I loved Spider-Man No Way Home, and that was pretty in your face with references and Easter eggs and all that kind of shit, but that worked for me. Why? Maybe because I love Spider-Man. Maybe it's just fanboyism at this point, and I didn't have the love for Thor, and I just didn't care that much. That's definitely a possibility. Maybe, again, it's the Marvel fatigue kicking in finally, because after all this time, after me braving it through this entire franchise and being like, fuck the haters, since Endgame, I am just not feeling it quite as strongly as I used to anymore. I'm just like, I can't get it up for fucking every Marvel film anymore, because how many special people can possibly exist in this universe before nobody is actually special anymore? You know what I mean? Like, there can only be so many superheroes until it just starts to get uninteresting. It's like when, this is another random ass complaint, but it's like in TV shows or movies or whatever, where they're introducing a supernatural character or whatever, and it's usually, let's just say the cliche thing, it'll be like a little girl who can make things move. She's got telekinesis powers or whatever, right? And like the scene will introduce her, she's like, I don't know, just in there wherever the hell she is with her parents or something, and then she screams or something and suddenly moves across the room, and it's amazing, it's incredible. And in the context of the story, it can be like, oh wow, she's got powers. But me watching it, I'm like, okay, you were the 8,000th character like this that I've seen with these powers. It's just not that mind-blowing to me anymore. Even if this is a different, IP than other ones that I've seen the exact same thing from, it just becomes less interesting. And I guess what I'm saying is, in Thor Love and Thunder, I'm just kind of over seeing the same thing over and over again. That being said, this did have more unique moments in it as compared to some other movies. Like, I know that people complain about the Marvel formula and stuff as well, and can I say that this wasn't exactly stuck to the Marvel formula? Sure, I do think that it did some creative things in here, but not really creative enough. I think visually it was quite creative, but apart from that, it did follow sort of a formula. And something that I really need to complain about, regarding that, is that the villain, we're back to the one-note, boring villain characters that are just going to be hit it and quit it. They come in, they exit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it feels like that Malekith dude. It feels like whatever the fuck, just those random kind of villains in the MCU that really didn't leave that much of an impact. This is another one of those characters. Even though he did have a bit more of an emotional arc that I was expecting, I still wasn't overall that impressed. But again, who the fuck cares if I was impressed, because who the hell am I? Look, it was okay. I'm not going to change anybody's mind. I don't really know what else to say because I don't have that. I feel like I've been talking for a while, but I also feel like I don't have that much to say. I don't know. Thor Love and Thunder was alright, and that's it, I think. I think that's all I have to say. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please do the things. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit. And I don't know, man. I'm going. I'm outie. Goodbye.